Hi, and welcome to our virtual tasting of the 2017 Rodrigue Molyneaux Barbera. This is a Livermore Valley Barbera, and I hope you have a bottle and a glass of it in front of you right now. And let's get going on talking about this wine. Okay, so just to give you a little bit of a background of the winemaking of it, this was harvested on October 18th, 2017, from our estate vineyard right out here in front. We got about a ton and a half of this that year. It was aged in pretty much all neutral oak. I believe that some of the blenders that went into it may have had a little bit of oak on them, but for the most part, you're not going to get any oak influence on this wine. And then it was sterile filtered and bottled on August 14th, 2019. And we bottled 43 cases of it. And the final blend on it was 83% 2017 Barbera, 7.5% of a 2018 vintage Barbera, also from our estate vineyard, and 7% Petit Verdot, and 2.5% Cabernet Sauvignon. So this actually would qualify as an estate wine because 100% of the grapes did come from our estate. So let's get into tasting it. If you have a glass yourself, go ahead and give it a nice big swirl. And then when you're ready, let's stick our nose into it. Okay, right up front, what I'm getting a lot of is fruit. That's the thing that I'm really getting a lot of on this wine. It's really sticking out, and a big reason for that is the lack of new oak that was on the wine. So tart red fruits is really going to hit you very intensely when you first sniff this. So things like tart red cherry, cranberry, fresh raspberry. It's got a hint of mushroom to it, so just a little bit of an earthy quality, but not much. There's sort of a deep, dark aroma coming in the back there too, so like a dark red plum, something that's still kind of got a little tartness to it, but also some of those darker fruit aromas. And then going to the floral component, which again, because of the lack of new oak on here, is really able to shine through. The biggest thing I'm getting, not so much flowers, but more leaves, like violet leaves. Like if you've ever, picked a leaf off of a violet plant and smelled that, it's got a very distinctive aroma, nice and fresh and green. Okay, so let's go ahead and taste it. So take a nice little sip and sort of draw some air over it before swallowing. Okay, so with this wine, it's definitely telling you exactly what it is on the bouquet. I'm getting almost the same type of experience that I expected to get when I smelled it. It's hard to really explain that. How do you smell tartness? And yeah, I have a really hard time sort of explaining that to people, but I think you'll know it if you just spend a lot of time, going through the produce department and smelling the fruits that are known for being a little more tart, like plums, like raspberries, like cranberries and pomegranates. It just has more of a bright, high-toned aroma as opposed to something that's more sweet ripe, like a blackberry or banana or something like that. yeah, you just have to you have to go and smell and get a sense of it yourself. But that's what I'm also getting in the palate. So the palate is confirming the nose that I was getting very well. Just a lot of red fruits and red berries. It's juicy. That fruit is really coming through. Getting a lot of bright raspberry, some more of that red plum, some pomegranate, cranberry, things like that. Let me take one more sip here. There is still a little bit of depth that was coming through in the aroma. And it could be from the blenders that went into it, but sort of like a Bing cherry or a blackberry, just some kind of fruit with a little bit more of that black fruit depth to it. And then talking about the mouthfeel of this, it's got a medium body. It's got sort of, I mean, you really sort of notice on the mid palate, that's sort of where that weight sort of peaks. And then when you swallow it, there's a lot of acid. It's not overwhelming, but there's just a lot of good, strong acid in this wine. I mean, it is a Barbera after all, so we would expect no less. So that constitutes a nice long finish. Let me take one more. Yeah, I mean, in terms of tannin, if you're somebody who doesn't really like a tannic wine, then you'll really like this, because I am not getting really a whole lot of tannin or, that tannic structure, that tannic backbone, the beefiness that tannin can sometimes add to wine. And again, that comes from, the lack of new oak in the wine. And this is something that is going to be able to be laid down for a number of years. I would say you can drink it right now, but I would say that in another year or two, it would be probably even better. So because it's got so much good acid in there, it can stand up to a little bit more bottle age. So yeah, I think those of you that really like your wine's a little less tannic and bold will really like this one. Going on to food pairing ideas, Barbera is known for being such a great and versatile food wine because it's one of the red wines that has a little more acid than the others. And that acid really helps balance out fatty foods and cleanse the palate for the next bite, and it also matches well with acid in food. It can also handle heat in food too. So obviously this is a big one. Always popular with Barbera is pizza, or some kind of like a tomato-based sauce with pasta, like bolognese or a marinara. I even think about, I don't know if you've ever had the focaccia bread that's got like a layer of tomato sauce that they put on top before they bake it. So it's got that nice, almost like a sun-dried tomato, like baked kind of acidic tomato on top. I just imagine that when I'm drinking this wine as well. Any kind of grilled fatty meat or braised meat, like a lamb, a pork, or beef. Even I would say a nice firm fish, like a grilled cod or halibut, with something like roasted red bell peppers would be good. And of course your classic antipasto platter with salami, cured meats, olives, cheeses. You can just go crazy with Barbera and food. So it pairs very well with almost anything. So thanks for watching, you guys. I hope that you enjoy this wine, and pick some. If you don't have any yet, go ahead and pick some up. We're open on the weekends for you guys to come down and enjoy our gardens. So see you next time.